Hey guys, this is our part 2 of Crucible of War. Enjoy, subscribe, like the video, notification bell, all that fun stuff, Discord, yada yada yada, rammer, rant on, you don't care. Here's the video. Enjoy.
Or no?
Might do that.
Sure. Yeah.
Kasai. We're not even halfway
Ah,
through. Kasai.
That's
Kasai got
why.
a ton of buffs in Everfest.
Oh god, Everfest was the kindest to her.
yeah.
She got everything she ever wanted. She was like, "Give me something that'll bump one sword attacks. Here it is, Outland Skirmish. Give me something to give one sword swings. Go again. Here's Blade Runner.
How about that specialization?
Have a specialization. Oh yeah, if you make 6 coppers, you can do everything. It's like I can make six coppers in 2 turns.
Yeah. So
It's
Kasai's ability, second sword attack costs 1 resource less. If you run 2 Centauri Sabers, then you're swinging for 2 for 1, and then you're swinging for 2 for none. So
Yep.
get ready for that. At the beginning of your end phase, if you have attacked 2 or more times with weapons this turn, create a copper token for each weapon attack that hit. So as long as you keep giving go again, you're going to keep
Yep.
making copper.
which she did have before Everfest. You had Spoils of War, which was the wonderful warrior majestic that came out in Crucible of War, which is your next weapon gets +2 and go again, and anytime a weapon you control hits this turn, create 2 copper tokens. So there, it's already feeding copper generation. I know when Spoils of War came out in Unlimited and I finally got my hands on it, it went straight into Dorinthia, because that is just one of the best cards for her. But it's also killer for Kasai, because it's then first sword attacks coming in for 4 cost 1. Second sword attacks now coming in for 2 cost 0, but you could possibly make 4 copper tokens, or 6 copper tokens in total in that turn.
It is important to note that with the copper tokens, her tokens are generated at end step,
In step.
not on hit, and
Yep.
that really only matters in relation to her specialization,
Yep.
or the card cash in.
Yep.
Because say you have 3 coppers going into a turn, you don't play Spoils of War, you hit with that first sword, you don't have 4 coppers now.
No,
You
not
can't
yet.
play cash in for free.
Yep.
At the end step is when you'll get that 4th copper.
But Kasai's special ability is blood in her hands, and boys, there's so much blood.
Yeah, I don't think
There's-
anyone plays cash in anymore, do they?
Oh, I do.
Some people still run a
No,
one
but
up.
on your
One
hands.
of. One is all you need. And I have one in Dorinthia, and I think I might have actually taken the one in Kasai out. I can't remember. I think I still left it in. I'll double check on that. But I mean, it's just so good with Kasai, because if it's like you get the turn, because going back to her specialization, the most copper you need for her specialization is 3. Having 4 more, wonderful, but 3 will give you just an amazing turn overall. But if you have 7 copper and you have a blood in her hands and a cash in hand, 100% play cash in, draw 2 cards, then do the 3 coppers for her specialization and just go to town, because those extra cards you drew are most likely going to buff your swords even more. So, yeah, you're not attacking 4 times, you're only attacking 3, but oh my god, the amount of damage that comes out of her is just unreal. Like, I think I averaged out almost 26 damage in 1 turn, and that wasn't even with 4 swings.
She can
The
consist
scariest
17.
thing to experience when playing a Kasai player is if they pitch blood on her hands, because there is no reason they're going to pitch that if they have copper tokens. If they have the copper tokens and they pitch that, that means the other one's in their hand and they're about to do something really nasty.
Yeah. I would say the best thing you can do with Kasai is just don't let her get copper.
Yeah, it's very tempting to just be like, I don't want to block with this attack action because it's going to buff the sword that they use, because the only weapon that Kasai runs is Centauri Sabers.
Yep, don't even think about axes. Don't even waste your
Not
time.
worth it.
No, it's not worth it.
But the temptation is very much there, especially with heroes that really need card advantage, like Bolton and some other heroes that we haven't talked too much about. But you really do need to focus somewhat early on of like shutting down hits, like maybe letting 1 hit per turn. And if there's a Spoils of War, you might just be dumping your hand this turn.
You don't want her to have now. Just don't let her generate copper. It's. I know you want to be able to attack, but if you're blocking all of her attacks and she's using 3 cards a turn and losing those to the graveyard, it's gonna help you actually possibly win, because without those copper, she cannot get that specialization off, which will end the game. Pretty much 9 out of 10 times.
If she doesn't have her specialization, she's threatening on average 9 damage a turn.
Yep.
From a pitch yellow and then a Blade Runner of some variety.
Yep.
So 2 and 2 for the sword, and then whatever spice of Blade Runner. And then if you have to block with attack actions, that buffs the sword. So again, it's a ballpark of 9 if she's not doing Spoils of War, if she's not doing some of these other prep cards or in the swing or
sharpen steels, other things,
Just to go really quick down her equipment, moving on to the next person. Helm of Sharp Eye is probably her best head.
It's a trap.
I would say
trap. Really?
No, I have played Kasai with it. There were turns that on the second swing, I randomly did the banish and I would get a red in the swing, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. That's what you want to see. But I've also done it and like banished a Spoils of War. Without, she doesn't opt. There is no way for her to viably opt without subletting her most useful cards for stuff like Whisper of the Oracle, which you don't want. It's a trap.
I think the payoff with Helm of Sharp Eye, though, definitely is worth it versus the not payoff.
She's not going to block with cards from hand. She's going to take damage, which means she'll get at less health. She'll have Arcanite, Skullcap.
Get 3 health from Skullcap.
Sure. She will get 2 blocks from Skullcap easily. She will soak in damage. She will go to 5 health and deal 25 to you the next turn. That's what she'll do. Don't run Helm of Sharp Eye. It's pretty, but don't run it.
So Skullcap.
Basic.
Would you do a Hope Merchant's Hood or a Iron Hide?
Actually, Hope Merchant would probably be good, because if you just drew like a really crappy hand of like all reds and you're like, if I had a blue, this would have been great. And you can take the gamble of putting 1 card you don't need back in the deck, shuffle it up, draw a card, maybe you'll get a yellow. That's all you need.
I mean, as an instant, you can literally pitch any card, swing with your first weapon, hope the other 3 away, and then as long as you get an attack reaction that gives your sword go again, you've got a viable turn all of a sudden.
Or if you have a card that gives your weapon go again, keep it, put everything else in. Hope Merchants with her would actually be really good as a common equipment.
Because it's instant as a common equipment,
Chess pieces.
Courage of Blade Hold.
Courage of Blade Hold, yes.
Yep. On the turn where you get the full 6 copper blood on her hand's turn, Courage, that's 4 free swings.
Yeah. For a common, I would say Deep Blue on hers, because there's not an attack action card that costs 2 I can think of that.
Nourishing Emptiness.
Right. You could get a free Nourishing with Heart and Cross-Strap, but you're literally holding Heart and Cross-Strap the entire game for Nourishing.
When I played Dorinthia before I pulled Tunic, I ran Heart and Cross-Strap for Nourishing, and every single time it won me the game.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. This was also Deep Blue didn't exist at this point. This was Monarch had.
This is a challenge to everyone. Play Heart and Cross-Strap, run Nourishing Emptiness in your Dorinthia deck, and you will never lose. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I'm like, this is pre-Everfest.
This is pre everything almost. This was Monarch was out. Possibly Crew Unlimited was out. I don't remember. But yeah, Aria and Everfest were not out at the time. So I will say Nourishing really bodes well with, because you could also just keep a Nourishing in hand with Hardened Cross Strap, and you're like, I'll just block with everything, and they're like, oh, they can't do anything, they're gonna Arsenal Pass. Yeah. Like, no, Nourishing for 6 Dominate.
Yeah, I can see the payoff working really well, because if you get that 6-card hand or 5-card hand coming in, and I mean, it's gonna be pretty detrimental with Kasai, because she's strong right now.
Yeah. The more cards she has in hand, the worse it is for you as the opponent. You do need to pull cards out of her hand. You do need to threaten on-hit triggers or lethal damage pretty consistently.
Yep.
Or else she's gonna out-tempo you 10 times out of 10.
Yep.
Arms. I've seen Brave Forge Bracers.
Gallantry Gold, I actually
And
think is
Gallantry
very
Gold.
good for her because it's like it's a +1 to weapon attacks for the whole turn.
Yeah, it's a Brave Forge for the whole turn.
It's a Brave Forge for the old turn. So it's like the best turn you could get is a Courage of Blade Hold into a Gallantry Gold into 4 swings, which are all coming in free. Base power now 3 off of that. You're probably giving them +1s from Blood on Her Hands, which is now base power 4. God forbid you have Outland Skirmishes or Spoils of Wars or Sharpened Steels in the swings, anything to buff those up.
And
So
then the reason to run Brave Forge Bracers is 1, if you see yourself going a longer game, 2, Benji.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, you'll put them in your 11 card equipment inventory,
Yeah.
which we need to start calling it your inventory.
your inventory.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
And
Taylor.
the main reason that you're going to run an extra equipment that blocks 2 is exclusively Benji.
It's Benzi. But like Gallantry for her is pretty broken.
The other thing is that is also a spot that you would gladly put Arcane Barrier into.
Yeah. If you're going up against a Runeblade or a Wizard, just put in the gloves.
Yep.
Right? Like, you're not going to forego the headpiece. You're not going to forego Courage. You might forgo Boots. Again, that if you're going against Wizard.
If you're going against Wizard, the only equipment you should keep is Courage of Blade Hold if you have it.
Yeah, the other 3 should be.
Other 3 you can let go of immediately.
The feat. What do you guys think is the best for the feat?
Valiant Dynamos.
Except for against Wizard. Yep.
Except for against
Yeah. Which was
Like-
maybe like $40 like a year ago, and now it's like $150.
70. Yeah.
It was the first legendary I ever pulled. Was Valiant Dynamo, and I looked at the price. It was like $60, and I was like, "This is hot garbage."
Well, that's awful. It's an L.
I put it in a Dragon Shield. I put it in Inner Sleeve. Put it in Dragon Shield. I was like, whatever. Playing the voice in a game, and he was like, it's like $180 card. You
It's
got
the only one not in a mini snap.
It's the only one you don't have in a mini snap. Why are you doing? I'm like, it's like $50, and he's like, go look at the price. I went and looked at the price. I was like, like it was. I had no idea. Like it literally went from 0 to 100 overnight
Yeah.
because of Kasai. Yeah, Kasai was like, look at my cool shoes.
Common equipment, refraction bolters.
Yeah,
Refraction bolters, and if not refraction bolters, that's another spot for Ironhide.
I mean, refraction bolters you can get so easily. It's
Yeah.
it's a common equipment. It's also it blocks for 1.
Which is huge.
And if your weapon you control hits it, you can give it go again, which for her is amazing. So just don't even think about anything else. If you're choosing common, do refraction.
Yeah. So the
Unless
next
it's a
one
No.
is going to be an interesting topic because Shiana, the diamond.
Well, no.
No, next is Data Doll.
Oh, you do that. Okay. I have it pulled up
Mark
here wrong.
2.
Oh yeah, the next is Datadol. Okay. Datadol Mark II.
The first hero with a different intellect.
Three.
She dumb.
But she's a robot. Shouldn't she be smart? All right.
No,
hear me
she
out.
dumb.
She's dumb, but she's useful. Well, now.
Now she has a specialization which made her. She was a meme easily when the set dropped. I mean, she's cool. I will give you.
Like when I think of like game design and like building this and balancing it, like somebody had an idea and they just made it and they didn't balance it. They didn't play test it because she was completely unplayable.
Yes.
Like it was so amusingly bad to play Data Doll before Everfest that I can't say in earnest I've ever seen a single person play it other than a does this deck even work playtest.
Yeah, I have never seen someone play Data Doll other than maybe like a YouTube video where someone's like, let's try this.
Let's make her work. It's like, oh.
And the person, like, and it's not like a legit, they don't actually play the game. It's the person's like, here's my hand. And Data goes, here's mine. I can't do anything.
So Datadol's ability.
Sure,
Whenever
fine.
a mechan- I'm going too quick here. All right, I'm going to read that again. So her ability. Whenever a mechanologist item with cost 2 or less is put into the banish zone from your deck, put it into the arena.
Attack action card, then she'd be busted.
Yeah, she'd be Jane, but
She'd be like, I'm gonna 0 to 60 boosting, banishing 0 to 60. I'm gonna play 0 to 60 boosting, banishing a locked in
Throttle.
throttle, then I'm gonna play that.
And now it actually might be worthwhile for her to do that.
Legend Storm Studios, make a new mechanologist where she can play cards from her banner zone.
Shadow Mechanologist.
Shadow mechanologist, make it happen.
Oh dear. So I hope you have plans to play the pistol and give it a go again and buff it, because that's what you're going to be doing with that doll.
Yes, the best items, in my opinion, before Everfest were Plasma Purifier and Induction Chamber. Induction Chamber changed the game. I don't even know of any other items pre-Everfest that I can think. Actually, no, Tekla Core. Sorry,
But that's a specialization.
that's a she can't even play that. Never
No,
mind.
there was Dissipation Shield.
Dissipation Shield is
And
good.
there was Hyperdriver, which gives your stuff Dominate. Or it gets you resources. Then there was Cognition Node, which
Was
allows you to not fatigue yourself.
No, Mega Shockwave.
It's an attack. So your main items in mech are Plasma Purifier, which came out in Crucible.
Yep.
Induction Chamber, which came out in Arcane Rising.
Yep.
You then had your Dissipation Shield, which was also Arcane Rising.
Yep.
Cognition Nodes, Arcane
Rising.
Hyperdriver, Convection Amplifier,
Arcane Rising and Arcane Rising.
and then Crucible introduced one more, which was Absorption Dome.
Absorption Dome did come out in Crucible. I forgot
Which was
about that.
Crucible, which part of me was always like, there's a way to make it viable. It's just not. Dissipation Shield is just better. But now Everfest introduced a handful of really useful new items, and they gave Datadoll a specialization in the form of an item.
Yep.
So her own ability can be used
to play that for free.
Get her specialization, which, again, I don't know how balanced and how good she is. I need to playtest her more, but she is now viable, at least.
Yep. Plus, her specialization also gives her the act of getting, like, action points. I think,
So there's 3 effects of the specialization, and each one, the first time you use one of the 3 modes, you gain an action point. What her specialization primarily in function is, microprocessor is the name of it. It gives you a 4th intellect point, in essence.
Yes.
When that card is on the field and active, and you can have 2 of them. So you could technically have 5.
She went from the dumbest to the smartest hero.
Right. The low floor, high ceiling. And there's 3 modes. They all cost 0. The first one is... Now I'm putting me on the spot. The first one involves opting. The second one involves drawing. And the third one involves banishing.
You can only, I think, choose once per turn?
Right. Well, no, you can use multiple, but you don't get the action point, and it is an action without go again.
That's what it is. Because I knew, I was like, there's like some caveat that's like, you can't really do 2 of them.
Right. But if you have Bleed the Charges in your deck, and then you play Microprocessor, there are ways to start doing really wacky stuff with it.
You have, like, Achilles Accelerators, which if you do a boost attack and, like, banish a microprocessor, then you play it. You now have go again off the boost, but also Achilles is now active for
a free action point.
A free action.
As an instant at any time.
Yeah. So she has workarounds. There are ways to get around that. But I remembered specifically, I was like, I was in my mind, I was like, you can only choose once per turn. No, you can choose multiple, but it's just you need to have an action point to do those multiple things.
Whether it's Octane, which is not a specialization, so you can run. And the big thing with her, the big thing with her before Everfest was there was just not enough good boost cards.
I didn't even think about High Octane.
So now, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
My God.
I'm gonna interrupt. Going back to microprocessor. The first time you activate microprocessor each turn, gain 1 action point. So, is that the first time you activate a microprocessor? Or the first time you activate this microprocessor?
That microprocessor.
It would be ruled as that one, because it is that card's effect that you are activating, and it specifically says gain an action point.
Okay.
Yep.
So you could have 2 of them out, and then essentially do both of them.
Yeah. You can either, I need to get something so I can use the opt option first.
Yep.
And then, okay, I don't want to banish this high octane that's on the top. We're going to opt that to the bottom, and then we're going to use the second microprocessor to either draw or banish the top card, then slap whatever it is, hopefully on your battlefield.
Or it's first microprocessor opt high octane. Ooh, action point. I'm gonna draw a card. Now I'm gonna high octane. I'm gonna get action points. I'm gonna do this again.
Right. So with a high octane in Arsenal, for example, you know, you can realistically microprocessor like 3 times.
Yeah.
And just massive hand size.
Yep. Plus, with so many things that now boost for cost 0, like all you would T-bone 0 to 60.
You can have 12 of your 40 cards cost nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah.
All right, so we gotta move on quick. We're at 50 minutes. Headpiece. Best headpiece.
I guess Visitronic, yeah.
Came out in Crucible. It was designed from the ground up. Anytime you boost, draw a card before you resolve the boost. Take a card from your hand after you draw, put it on top, so you know what you're going to boost out. So
That's true, you can boost items.
You're going to boost an item or a card that you can sacrifice. Visitronic, hands down.
And it has Arcane Barrier.
Barrier 2.
Arcane Barrier 2, which is great.
Now, goodbye Rosetta. You're not a threat anymore.
Yeah.
Now, you do have to destroy Visitronic to use its effect, but it is still real nasty.
Yep.
Real solid headpiece for Data Doll. Even for Dash, but not as much.
For Dash with Arcane matchups, if you're not doing an Arcane matchup for Dash, I would just say probably Arcanite for just the extra block if it's a physical person. Hands, Goliath Gauntlet still?
Goliath Gauntlets or Stubby Hammers.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stubby Hammers gets the value off.
Realistically, Goliath is giving you +2 on 1 attack. Stubby Hammers, your 3 0 to 60s are all getting +1.
Yeah.
That's 3. Yeah. It requires more setup, but it is a higher... You're getting that 1 extra damage, and a lot of matchups are determined by less than 3 health, so... I see that in Stubbies for Data Doll more than for Dash.
Combo foot equipment, I think, is really good. Achilles Accelerator. Done.
Yep.
Has Arcane Barrier, get an action point, all the boxes checked.
Yep.
Super good.
All right, next, Girl of the Hour.
Wait.
Chess piece.
Yeah, we're talking about the chess piece.
Yeah, she does not run Tunic. She's not running any combat.
It's Teklo Heart.
Teklo Foundry Heart.
Yep.
Amazing effect.
Yep.
Blocks.
Because even then, like, she can banish 2 cards, get 2 resources, and possibly play an item for free. Like, for her, it's incredible.
Yeah, I feel like they made that card knowing Data Doll was coming out.
Yeah.
So.
But then she wasn't really viable yet, so they were like, just wait for Data Doll. You have no idea.
All those Data Dolls.
Now I want to build Data Doll. Dang, I didn't even think about High Octane with her.
Friends don't let friends build Data Doll.
No, it's just Briar. It's
just Briar, yeah. Don't let your friends build Viscerai. That's the Room Blade of the Hour.
Or they won't be your friend anymore.
Honorable mention, Cavdeen. Move on.
Yeah.
Last person in the set.
He's literally a gimmick. He has a 3 resource once per turn action that is involved around like life totals. It's real janky.
And it just makes copper.
It makes copper, and then you can destroy copper, but it costs 4 to
It costs 4.
Copper, so
the only reason I was gonna say the only reason you destroy copper is with cash in.
Oh, and by the way, he's a merchant hero, which has no other cards.
That did introduce the first hero who was a merchant, who is useless.
So he can only play generic.
He can only play generics.
Pins to include the only generic weapon printed in Crucible of War,
which is Talishar, and it sucks.
Allows you to attack 4 times the entire match.
That's it.
For 4.
Yeah.
Spending 2 resources. Yeah. Cavdeen is a joke and a meme, and was meant to be like, hey, Ultimate Pit Fight's a format that we're going to make, and then they just never did. So, you get what you pay for. And
of course, now, some people may make them for fun.
Yep.
I was tempted to make one for fun, because I was like, oh, wouldn't it be just memey to just do, like, all kinds of Scar for Scars and other things that just all have Go Again? And I was like, I'll never use this once per turn effect. No one gets money. But I just turned away from it.
Yeah, I'm Shiana right
On
now.
to the most...
I derailed.
Alright, so we've cut all of that out. Let's talk about Shiana. The beautiful lady who's definitely not young in the photo.
The Diamond Gemini. She can be whatever she wants.
Yeah.
She's literally
That's true.
A shapeshifter.
She is a shapeshifter, and she'd be changing shapes to any hero she's going up against. She is so much fun to play against. How much fun is she to play?
She is very soul-crushing to play.
She's fun to play against.
She should be this dynamic hero that allows you to like pivot very real time and like do this very interesting playstyle, but they really hamstrung her hero ability, and I yes, you had to. It would be unbalanced if you didn't.
You had to, but it would have been more fun.
Yes.
Which is what it should have been, because she was an ultimate pit fight hero, which is meant to be like the more fun, like just janky stuff. Like it's getting nutso gutso. They made a card called Go Bananas for ultimate pit fight. Go bananas with Shiana's ability. Errata it. Let her choose any hero. Any hero.
Yeah, Shiana, Diamond Gemini. Her ability is you may have the specialization cards of any hero in your deck. So that means start looking at things people won't prepare for. So like the Kano, like the Arcane, like nobody's ready for that.
No, it's like you put in Crippling Crushes and Teklo cores.
Yep.
Like, it gets weird.
You pretty much run all of the resource generation from every other hero from specializations. So, like, you either go the low attack Benji route with Spring Tidings and you're going to try and draw a bunch of cards, or you run the my attacks are massive and terrifying and I'm using generics to supplant them, which is like Crippling Crush and Alpha Rampage.
Yep.
So here's a fun thing. She can run Arcanite Shard.
Yes.
And play it, even though she's not... Yeah.
But she can make a rune chant.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, she can make a rune chant. The only problem is she is limited to generic equipment.
Yeah.
Because she can run any specialization, which gives her the options of any hero that has now existed that has a specialization.
She can run Whirling Mist Ball.
Except, like, Lexi and Azalea, because she doesn't have a bow.
And this is what... this is kind of what we alluded to earlier. I'll read the rest of it. At the beginning of your action phase, Shiana becomes the copy of target hero until you start your next turn, and gains cards you own are the class of your hero in addition to their other class types. Which means, as it was alluded to before, target meaning they have to be in the game.
Yep.
They must be present on the field of play at the time your action phase is beginning. So if you're playing UPF and like you want to be Briar, but Briar got knocked out, you can't.
But the spiciest is there's a Valda in the game. Shiana's like, I'm Valda. Me and the Valda, we're gonna make just all the Seismic Surge tokens. It's so much fun.
And then as long as I choose a Guardian at the next action phase, all of my attacks, to include Command and Conquers and stuff, are Guardian attacks, and Seismic Surge pays for them.
Yeah.
Again, she has this really interesting, like, oh, there's got to be a way to make this deck just broken fun and crazy wacky and blitz. The equipment literally cripples her.
Yeah.
Yes, Arcanite Skullcap's amazing. Cool, but it's not a utility piece.
It's not a utility piece. Tunic is good.
It's great. It gives you one resource every 3 turns. Blitz is so fast. You might get one Tunic counter.
Especially in UPF, where you have people attacking you from 2 sides.
Yeah, you're gonna die turn 2. Trust me. If you're Fiona, you're gonna die.
You're gonna have one person in the game, he's not in the video today, but he's gonna mind control everyone and be like, they're obviously the bigger threat. And it's like, dude, you were literally sitting here with the worst deck among all of us. Why are you listening to him? Why are you... And they're like, you know what? Maybe I will listen to him, because he keeps getting attacked. And it's like, he hasn't taken any damage, though. Like, people keep attacking him, but he's not getting hurt. But you think, I'm a bigger threat. I'm just sitting over here giving everyone cards to draw. I'm just having fun. We're playing politics up in here.
It's not personal.
And that is UPF in a nutshell. At least on the plus side, she can't have a weapon worse than Cavdine, because she has to share the same one as him with Talishar.
Yeah, she's just on...
Now, there is an interesting thing that we do need to talk about with Shiana real quick, and that's health. So when you shapeshift, you actually assume that hero's maximum health.
Yep.
So if you shapeshift into Kano, and before you shapeshifted, you had 5 health, you just killed yourself.
Yep.
You do not track health as Shiana, you track damage. Yep. So your health total is whatever hero you are picking minus the damage plus any healing you've had this match. That might not make a ton of sense until you actually sit down and do it once, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is definitely the right way to do it.
Basically, it's, I'm going to choose Dorinthia. I have 20 health. You take 15 damage from the person to your left, and then the person on your right chooses not to attack you. It's now your turn. I choose Kano. oh, I took 15 damage from that person, and I'm now sitting
That
at
hero
15
with
health.
15 health.
Oh, I just accidentally killed myself. But if you had chosen someone like Valda,
you'd go to 6.
you'd go to 6 health. So you actually gained life.
Now, it does not count as life gain for any sort of effects like Reaping Blade or anything like that.
No, it's just that was actually the health that Valda would have in this case scenario.
Right.
So her health is interesting, to say the least.
And that's just another instance of this weird shapeshifter card being the only card in print that does it. But it is something that if you ever decide that you're going to try Shion out, you have to be at least aware of. Because it will
you don't
backfire.
You don't track like on life pads or anything. You don't track like I'm at 14. No, it's I've taken 6 damage this game so far.
Also, good to note, she doesn't switch back to herself. Well, she doesn't shapeshift again until the beginning of your next action phase. So if you are Kano, Kano until it comes back to you.
I mean, you can instant all the time then if you have the cards. Like what?
Because every card in your deck is now a wizard card.
Yeah.
But they're not wizard non-attack actions.
They don't have to be wizard non-attacks. They just have to be non-attack action.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you know there's a non-attack in there, I mean, you could be like, someone over here is going like that you can't touch. I'm gonna Kano. Cool, it's a crazy brew. I'm gonna play it. It's crazy, dude.
It is.
It'd be crazy. I mean, she is awesome. I just wish, like, they should have, with Everfest, they needed to, and they may actually do with the new set that's going to come out in June, they need to put out a legendary generic for hands, for feet, or put out another generic weapon.
Even if just another any generic weapon. Like, I don't even care if it's bad. Like, it could be, it costs 2 and comes in for 2. That's fine.
Yeah.
Does it break out?
Does it break? No.
Great.
Yeah, then.
Put it in the deck.
Yeah.
Like,
so there was another video that happened very recently that someone said they talked to James White, and one of their things is they have a confirmation that within the next year, PvP would start to come. PvE.
You mean
PvE?
Yeah.
I mean, Flesh and Blood already PvP.
Yeah. PvE would happen the next year. So if PvE happens, I would assume that you cannot be like, oh, you know what? We're going to be a crazy crew of 4 Dorinthias attacking this thing. I'm assuming there's going to be a rule against like one hero of a type. That's it. Shauna may actually shine in PvE.
Yeah, because she can target her friendly heroes. If that is the format of, like, there's one generic board shared by 2, 3, or 4 cooperative heroes, then yeah, she would really have a place in that format.
But they need to give her more resources. They need to give her
tools in the toolbox.
Yeah,
because generic.
That's also assuming we do Blitz Heroes or PvE and not CC.
Oh, that would be wild if it's PC.
I don't think they will, because they even made erratas to Ultimate Pit Fight, where originally Ultimate Pit Fight was a 60-card deck with young heroes, because they didn't want the games to last incredibly long. But they said it doesn't make sense to have young heroes with CC-sized decks. So Ultimate Pit Fight is now young heroes, 40-card decks, 11 inventory.
Is it still 2 cap per...
It is two cap.
It is Blitz rules.
It's Blitz rules, but an Ultimate Pit Fight of multiplayer. But there's no banned list still. Like it has its own separate banned list, so you can still run your Drone of Brutalities. You can still do your Ball Lightnings and your Go Bananas and all your fun stuff. Like you can still do that. You can still do Duskblade, but you cannot play the 3 this round's on me. And play them 3 turns in a row like I did, and draw all the cards and get all the Seismic Surge tokens.
So Shiana, I think, will have a place, but right now she is a meme, but she is at least an interesting meme.
She's a hot meme.
That is also true. She is the art on her.
A hot meme that costs a lot if you happen to draw her.
Her price has gone back down a little bit. She's under 100 now. I think she's
80 last time I saw.
I last time I saw it was like 70, 75.
I was sitting on a cool 120 when I grabbed mine, and I was very pleased that it was like, all right, cool, got my L for the box. I'm not mad about it. Like, sure, it would have been nice to get, Crewnick or something, but nope, wasn't upset at all.
I think
No,
Shiana
but
was my last Crucible box, like that pull from the last one I got.
So after Shiana, we are
Done
with the crew heroes.
Yep, that is crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.